Over 60. Eat these 7 cheap, high-protein foods to build muscle fast. Now, let me ask you something that might sound almost shocking. What if I told you that the single biggest reason many people in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s lose their independence isn't actually age itself, but muscle loss? Think about that for a moment. How many times have you seen an older friend, maybe even yourself, struggling to get out of a chair, finding stairs more and more exhausting, or realizing that carrying groceries feels like a workout you never signed up for? That weakness, that shrinking strength, isn't just inevitable, aging, it's muscle loss. And here's the twist. It can be fought, reversed, and rebuilt, even at 60, 70, and beyond. And the weapon isn't fancy supplements or expensive powders. It's cheap, everyday foods that are high in protein, the building blocks of muscle. Yes, the same foods you may already have in your kitchen could be the secret to standing taller, walking stronger, and feeling years younger. So stay with me, because I'm going to share 7 powerful, affordable, high-protein foods that can help you build muscle fast after 60, and I'll explain not only why they work, but also how to enjoy them in real life without breaking the bank. Here's the truth. After age 30, most of us start losing about 3 to 8% of our muscle mass every decade. By the time we reach 60, that loss speeds up dramatically. Doctors even have a name for it, sarcopenia. But the story doesn't end there. Just because the body naturally tends to lose muscle doesn't mean we have to surrender to it. I remember a man I met at my local community center, a 72-year-old who looked frail, almost fragile. His doctor had told him he'd never get back the strength he once had. But after changing his diet, adding more protein, and committing to a simple routine, within months, he looked like a new person. Not a bodybuilder, no, but someone who could carry his grandchild up the stairs without fear. That's the power of protein after 60. It's not about vanity. It's about freedom. Freedom to move, to live, to enjoy life without relying on others. Now let's talk about the foods themselves. The first powerhouse is eggs. Yes, humble, inexpensive eggs. For decades, people feared them because of cholesterol, but science has flipped that story upside down. Eggs are among the most complete proteins on Earth, packed with essential amino acids your muscles crave. And here's the thing. 1 egg costs less than a cup of coffee, and yet it delivers around 6 grams of high-quality protein. Plus, the yolk is rich in vitamin D and healthy fats that older adults often lack. I often scramble eggs with a handful of spinach in the morning. It's quick, cheap, and it fuels me for hours. And if you've been scared of eggs in the past, let this be your permission to bring them back onto your plate with confidence. Another superstar is beans. All varieties: black beans, kidney beans, lentils, chickpeas. They are protein, rich, fiber-loaded, and dirt cheap. A can of beans for $1 can provide multiple meals, giving not only plant-based protein, but also fiber that keeps your digestion smooth, your heart healthier, and your blood sugar stable. I love making a hearty lentil soup on Sundays. The beauty is, beans aren't just muscle food, they're also longevity food. And if you think plant proteins don't count as much as animal proteins, remember this. When you combine beans with rice or whole grains, you get a complete protein that rivals meat. Imagine having a filling bowl of chili and knowing you're feeding your muscles as well as your soul. Third, shine a light on Greek yogurt. Not the sugary flavored kind, but plain Greek yogurt. It's thicker, creamier, and nearly double the protein of regular yogurt. 1 cup can deliver up to 20 grams of protein, plus calcium for your bones and probiotics for your gut. When you're over 60, gut health becomes even more important, because poor digestion means you're not absorbing the nutrients you need. Greek yogurt solves both problems: protein and digestion. Personally, I like to sweeten it naturally with berries or a drizzle of honey. It tastes like dessert, but it's a muscle-building powerhouse. Now, number 4. Canned tuna or canned salmon. These are lifesavers when you want something fast, protein-packed, and affordable. 1 can gives you 20 to 25 grams of protein, and the omega-3 fats in salmon especially are known to reduce inflammation, which helps your joints recover and keeps you moving. I know some people worry about the cost of fresh fish, but the canned versions are budget-friendly and last in your pantry for months. Toss tuna on a salad, mix it into a wrap, or enjoy it with whole grain crackers. It's fast food for strong muscles. Let's not forget chicken thighs, the fifth food. Notice I didn't say chicken breast, because thighs are cheaper, juicier, and still packed with protein. For many years, chicken breast was praised as the only healthy cut. But in reality, chicken thighs provide nearly the same protein with a fraction of the cost. And when seasoned and roasted, they taste incredible. One serving gives you around 25 grams of protein. It's more than enough to fuel muscle repair after a simple walk or lightweight training session. If you've ever thought eating healthy means eating bland, dry chicken breast, I encourage you to try slow-baked chicken thighs with herbs. Delicious, affordable, and exactly what your muscles need. Sixth, cottage cheese. I know, cottage cheese has a reputation as an old-fashioned food, but let me tell you, it's making a comeback for good reason. 1 cup has over 25 grams of protein, and it's full of casein, slow-digesting protein that feeds your muscles while you sleep. That's right, you can build muscle overnight by simply having a bowl of cottage cheese with some fruit before bed. For older adults, nighttime protein is especially important because the body does much of its repair work during sleep. Cottage cheese gives your muscles the tools to rebuild stronger while you rest. And finally, peanuts and peanut butter. Now, I can already hear someone saying, but aren't peanuts high in fat? Yes, they are, but they're also rich in protein, and the fats are largely heart-healthy. 2 tablespoons of peanut butter deliver around 8 grams of protein, plus magnesium, which your muscles need for contraction. I keep a jar in my kitchen, and when the afternoon slump hits, I'll spread some on apple slices. It feels indulgent, but it's actually muscle food. Plus, a big jar of peanut butter is affordable and lasts weeks. So, those are the 7. Eggs, beans, Greek yogurt, canned tuna or salmon, chicken thighs, cottage cheese, and peanuts or peanut butter. Simple, cheap, and powerful. But let's step back for a moment. Why exactly is protein so critical after 60? The science is simple, but profound. Your muscles are constantly breaking down and rebuilding. When you were younger, your body was a muscle-building machine, using every bit of protein efficiently. But after 60, the body becomes less efficient, condition scientists call anabolic resistance. That means you actually need more protein per meal to trigger muscle repair. So while a younger person might get by on 15 grams, you may need 25 or 30 grams in one sitting. That's why choosing high-protein foods isn't just helpful, it's essential now. I know what you might be thinking. This sounds great, but will eating these foods really make a difference? Let me tell you a story. A woman named Mary, 68 years old, told me she used to feel drained just walking to the mailbox. She added more protein to her meals, eggs for breakfast, Greek yogurt as a snack, beans in her dinner, and combined it with light resistance exercise, just bands and body weight. Within 3 months, she felt stronger, her balance improved, and she even started gardening again without fear of falling. That's not magic. That's biology. Feed your body what it needs, and it responds. Even in your 7th or 8th decade of life, if you're listening and thinking this sounds like me, I've been struggling with energy, balance, or weakness, then I encourage you to try just one change this week. Maybe add an extra egg at breakfast, or swap regular yogurt for Greek yogurt. Small steps add up to huge transformations. And if you've had an experience like this yourself, I'd love to hear it. Share your story in the comments below. Your journey might inspire someone else who feels like giving up. And if you find this message valuable, don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss future tips on staying strong, healthy, and independent after 50. Now, here's the twist I promised at the end. You see, most people believe that losing strength after 60 is just fate. They believe it's written in the stars, unavoidable. But the truth is, your muscles don't know your age. They only know whether you're feeding them and using them. An 80-year-old who eats enough protein and stays active can be stronger than a 60-year-old who doesn't. Isn't that amazing? Age sets the stage, but your choices write the script. So when you crack that egg, open that can of tuna, or scoop that spoonful of peanut butter, remember this. You're not just eating. You're fighting back. You're reclaiming your independence. You're proving that life after 60 can be powerful, vibrant, and strong. So let's end with a question. Will you let your muscles fade away, or will you fuel them to grow, to carry you through the next decades with strength and confidence? The answer starts on your plate with 7 simple, cheap, high-protein foods that can transform your life. And if this resonates with you, share this video with a friend who needs to hear it. Because together, we can rewrite the story of aging not as a slow decline, but as a season of strength, resilience, and renewal.